So, welcome to the design process towards Holy Grail in a single document that fits in your SwitchLite carry case. Um, this hasn't been done ever before, I think. Okay, so I discussed the Excel rules for exceptional and upgrading. There's also here for amulet of the Viper. um, so what do the tick boxes mean? The amulet of the Viper is nightmare and hell, and this is also useful to print out so you can see if there are any errors. So the tick box for hell should be after the nightmare. And amulet of the Viper, if you tick it, it means for normal. And this is if you found it with your hero roster on nightmare, and this is if you found it on hell with any of your heroes. So you have quest items, Q. You have also for rune. Runes cannot be upgraded, and they cannot be ethereal. And so this is also a discovery process of the business rules, if you will, and considering a black box. Otherwise, you would have to distill the hex codes to reverse engineer the source code, and I don't want to do that. Just want simple, phenomenal approach. So in the final version, these unique items, I made them purple underlined, but these will be brown, these will be green. Runes, probably dark red or something. The font was also a thing of consideration. There is a Diablo font. There's a how do you say, a commercial version, and there's a freeware version. I used the freeware version. The complication is that if you convert a document, which is in Word, to PDF, PDF does not have the Diablo font, so it will show like Arial, which is quite ugly. The first version I did was Bookman Old Style, but the problem with Bookman Old Style is that while it can be rendered by a normal PDF conversion program, the text is a bit too wide for making a compact book, and the text I used here is the font that is used in the Diablo comments. So there are sometimes the welcome text when you enter the rogue encampment, for example, and the font face of that text is this font face. So if you find something like you just go to the letter. So this is for A. Then you also have organs. Organs cannot be made exceptional or elite. So if it is an O, there is no upgrade. There is also not ethereal Bale's Eye, for example, so I should fix that. And so yeah, And this is not enough, but it is at least a list of all the items. There are, I numbered them, and there's over 1,000 items. And also for the L, that should not be a number, so the total number of items in this list is, as you can see here, about 1,100. This was 1179. Sorry, minus the 26 because there was a bug with the numbering the letters. I think this is all the rules that you need. So yeah, here for example you have word select, and instead of a tick box I made an I for indestructible, because you cannot, it doesn't degrade. It does have a durability, I think, because you can equip it. I would have to check. I'm not really sure if this is indestructible, but it's a quest item, and it can be found on normal and it can be found on hell. So any hero in softcore that finds any of these items, you can tick them off. Another nice feature is the rune drop tables for Countess and Hellforge quest. There are various ranges for the Countess on normal and the Hellforge quest on normal, and similarly for Nightmare and Hell. So whenever you find your first rune, you write it down, and if it is higher than the previous, then you write it also. So not first, then only if higher. For various runes, you can write them down. Rune words are very short. You also tick them off here, but this is for when you find them on the field. For example, shale doesn't have a durability, but if you tick it off, then you have the rune word found anywhere. And you can also, that was the initial idea, to write down the area here. So maybe it should be like area, and then you can write down the areas where you found shale. And again, only make add an entry if it is found earlier in the quest game. I also want extra achievements, but for that I would I haven't printed it out yet because it's a work in progress. So I'll show now the screen. I hope to make this readable at least. So here you can see the Excel sheet with the list. It's the list of all the items. Then the achievements. The achievements, I'm not sure if it is can be made bigger. Yeah. So because the SwitchLite doesn't have the achievements like in the Xbox or in the PlayStation, PlayStation has trophies, you need some kind of surrogate. So I took out the 10,000, 20,000 item or 100,000 gold things because it's or defeats 500 enemies, because that is too hard to track. Plus, it's not fun to track. But there are things that you can check easily. So let's see. There's for barbarian, working along, find item yields a magic item, or a unique item, or a set item. Find item is a skill for the barbarian only. And there is Goldfinger. Yeah, I made these up myself. Equip a barbarian with weapons, so 2 times a crystal sword with 8 runes in total. And the weapon swap, Warcries, and Immortal King's Will, gloves, etc. And if you have all these, so there should be tick boxes to the left of it, then you can tick off the top one. And then you have done this achievement. So you can gamble at Geet. This is another achievement for unique rings, set rings, and SOJs, because apparently you can find SOJs, Stone of Jordans, which is a very rare item. Stone of Jordan is useful for triggering Diablo clone on single player. Without the SOJ you cannot gain that achievement. Then there is recipes. Not sure what. Okay. This is in a different document. Let's see. Yeah, so here there is craft recipes. I wanted to print this out initially, but it eventually became too large of a document because it describes most of everything, like online, offline, softcore, hardcore. So it's a more or less a modernized version of a guidebook. I also have the Diablo 2 original guidebook, and it's very incomplete, full of errors. I can make another video about it. Let's see what I want to